Hey guys, so it's time for my WIP update where I show you what I worked on last month and also the month before that because I didn't do a WIP update last month. So I think I said in my vlog that I thought this was going to be a pretty big update, but actually I'm not sure. I didn't do a lot of stitching last month, as you saw from my vlog, because I was moving. But I'm going to show you everything because I totally forget what I actually worked on. So let's start with what I know I didn't work on, which is my Bookspines piece. You guys, I don't know about this one. I love the Q-snap and I'm so glad I tried it, but I just don't know. I just don't know if I can finish this one. I am losing steam on it fast. So I think I'm gonna put this aside and see if I get the urge to come back to it, but I probably won't. Sarah, I'm the worst Sal partner because you finished your project like months ago and I am just totally bailing on this one. Probably. Not definitely, but you know, but probably. So let's get that out of the way. I'll show you the Shadowling. I don't think I touched this in the last 2 months, but I will show you anyways. Yeah, I'm positive I didn't touch this because last time, look how see-through this fabric is. Last time I showed you the swan that I did. And that is still how far I've gotten. Look how big this is. This is really intimidating to work on. It's so overwhelming. And even more so now because I'm not in my stitchy spot. Like I have to make a new stitchy spot and I just can't imagine stitching this on the couch on my lap. It's humongous and like juggling all the threads and stuff. So I'm gonna have to figure out a better system. Maybe I'll stitch this guy here in my room at my desk and just watch YouTube or something. But I definitely have to figure out what I'm gonna do about that one. So next I'll show you Peacock pinwheels, which again I don't think I worked on in the last couple of months. In fact, I know I didn't because I worked on Quaker game board and I rarely work on both of these in the same month because they're both 1/1. So this is Peacock pinwheels. I hope you didn't just hear my stomach growl. I am filming this quickly while my laundry is drying upstairs and then I'm gonna get something to eat because I'm starving. So ignore my stomach noises. This is Peacock pinwheels. Not too much farther to go on this one, and now that it is my only 1/1 project, I'm not gonna have to balance this one plus Quaker game board because, as I said, I finished Quaker game board. I have kind of a mess right here. Figuring it out, guys. I'm figuring it out. Next, I will show you Lily of the Woods, I suppose. Pretty sure I worked on this one, but again, I mean, it's been, all I remember is Angel of Love and the 2 projects I started yesterday, which I'll show you, I think, in this video, even though this isn't like my May update, but at least it'll be something to show because, like I said, you guys have seen these and I haven't done much work on any of them. So this is Lily of the Woods by Mirabilia. I think I might have put in some more blue on this, but it would have been in March. Yeah, I don't know. That's what she looks like. Did you guys see, I'm behind on floss too, but I'm only behind by like a week now, which is pretty great. Did you guys see that Kelly from the Evergreen Needle is doing like 1,000 Miras for Stitch Mania? I'm so excited. Girl, I'm so excited. I love Mirabilia, as you know that, and also I love how creative you are and you make all those little alterations, and I'm so excited to see what you do with all of those mermaids. I'm so excited. So I'll show you Angel of Love next. This one I did quite a bit of work on, as you saw in my stitching vlog. It's pretty much the only thing I worked on last month when I was moving because it was out after I had packed everything else because I had been working on it. So because it was out and I knew where it was and I knew I had all the stuff to work on it, that's just what I worked on. And also it's pretty easy now that I'm out of the patterned skirt part. It was just really big blocks of color. So this is Angel of Love. And I think I said in my vlog that like I'm done a fair bit of the stitching on this one, and then I promptly got a comment that was like, oh, the wings took a long time for me, and I was like, oh god, I totally forgot about the wings, you guys. She has humongous wings that I totally forgot about. I just thought it was just like her head, but duh, she's an angel because it's Angel of Love, so she has wings. So I'm probably not quite as far along on this stitching wise as I thought I was because I forgot about the wings, but this is where I am. I put in all this blue except for this gap over here where I ran out of 3750, which I picked up yesterday when I got my supplies for my 2 new starts, but I was too excited to do the new starts and I didn't fill it in. So that will be a problem for future McKenzie. And also I did most of her sleeves. So yeah, I am definitely ready to put that one aside for a little bit. I got a little bit of Angel of Love overload. And like I said, because it was the only thing that was like really accessible to me when I was moving, it seemed less stressful to work on it, but then I got bored of it, and then I didn't really want to work on anything because I was bored of it. So that's part of the reason why I decided I wanted to start a couple of new things. And I think that was a good decision, although, I don't know, I think I might regret it. I think starting the 2 new things is going to push me even more to abandon that Bookspines piece on the Ada in the key snap. Sarah, I'm sorry, I'm the worst. I'm the worst. But we talked this morning on Messenger about doing a Shadowling thing where we would just motivate each other to do our Shadowlings. I'm totally in for that. I won't flake on that. I cannot flake on that Shadowling because it's very expensive and that would be unfortunate. So I will be a good sell partner for that one. So next, Quaker game board. I finished Quaker game board and I finished it in March, so I actually haven't looked at it for a while. Oh yeah, I meant to talk about this. So here's Quaker game board. This is not 100% finished as per the pattern. There are little spaces in between each of these octagons, had to count, and they give you an option in the pattern to fill them with cross stitch, or they give you a couple of specialty stitch options, and I don't think I'm going to fill them at all. I think it looks fine, and I think it would add a lot of busyness. It's just in that dark gray color, the same as the outline and stuff, but I'm really happy with it right now, and I think it looks like a game board, and it looks like there are tiles with spaces, and I don't think I want to change that. And also in my head I'm already finished this, and so I don't want to go back to it. That was the thing I was going to mention about this. And so I did put in my little maple leaf. I had mentioned that there's a row here that's personalized, so it says 2016. That's a maple leaf, kind of. And then my initials, ME. This guy, I tried to chart a maple leaf and it didn't work. And then I Googled patterns for maple leaves and that's what I ended up stitching. I tried to alter it. I felt like it was like too thick, but the alterations I made didn't make it better. So I don't know. I'm not 100% happy with it. I only think it kind of looks like a maple leaf. But like I said, I tried, you guys, and I couldn't make it work. So, like I just said, in my head I'm done with this, in a good way, but like it's done. So I'm not willing to go back and pick out this 1/1 because I'm not entirely happy with it. So I don't know. It doesn't really look like a maple leaf, but that's okay. And also I don't really know what else to put in there if I don't like the maple leaf, so I think it'll just stay. So hopefully this week, possibly, depending on my filming bug, which again still hasn't really come back, I will post a finished video for this, which will be very unexciting compared to my other finished videos because there's not a lot of detail that you need to see like really close up for this one. There's not like beads or anything. But I will do a finished video, and then as part of that finished video there will be a giveaway for this pattern. And unlike the Mirabilia that I gave away where I actually bought a new pattern because I wanted to keep my Mirabilia patterns, this, you will be getting the actual pattern that I stitched this from. It's not marked on. I'm pretty sure I made a working copy, and also I'm doing this thing now where I don't mark my patterns. I think it's like a mental, like a switch has flipped, and it started with probably this one actually, where each little part is really easy and you can just kind of look at the pattern and like know it in your head. And I just haven't been marking anything. The only thing I have been marking is Angel of Love, and I have marked that one up good. So I don't know, maybe it's just a pattern by pattern basis, but what I'm trying to say is you're gonna get the used pattern that I used, but it's not really used at all. So look out for that finished video. And I've been thinking of, I want to put a hashtag to this idea of passing things along once you're finished with them, you know, kind of redistributing the patterns that you may not stitch again or have any interest in stitching a first time. So I think I'm going to go with pass the stash, hashtag pass the stash. I don't know, give me your thoughts. Yeah, just because I want to see if you guys are doing it. I know you guys are doing it. I know you guys give stuff away all the time, and I think that's awesome. So hashtag pass the stash, question mark. When I was looking through my box of patterns to pick 2 to start yesterday, I found a couple that I just don't think I'm going to stitch anymore. So, which I think is kind of the hazard of buying a lot of stash, is you buy a lot and then you don't necessarily stitch it in the window where you're really interested in it. And then like some time goes by, like years or months or whatever, and then you come back to it and you're like, oh yeah, I spent money on this and now I don't think I'm ever going to do it. So I found a couple like that in my stash, and so I think I might really go through everything and do another kind of giveaway video because I don't need it. It's taking up space. It's not going to be a ton of stuff. One pattern for sure, and a big piece of Ada that I bought to go with it, and I just don't think I'm going to do it anymore. So, spring cleaning. Pass the stash, spring cleaning. So that is it for all of my regular WIPs. Because this video is short, not what I thought, but again, I didn't actually stitch that much, so I shouldn't be surprised. I'm going to show you how far I got on the couple that I started yesterday. So Stitch Mania started yesterday on May 1st. I am not a maniac, and I'm not doing the whole thing. It's just, you guys know me by now. I can't do that. It'll just stress me out. I think it's originally, I had on Instagram that it was 31 starts, but I think it's supposed to be 15 for the first 15 days, or whatever you want. Everybody's kind of doing whatever. Emily put it really well. I was watching her video last night and she said, any kind of mania is Stitch Mania. If you feel that this is mania, then you're doing it, you know? So to me, 2 new starts is mania. Especially right now when I have a lot of big projects. Oh my God, you've already started them. Don't think about it, McKenzie. So I'll show you where I got. I started Blackberry Jam by the Sweetheart Tree. And I wanted to get kind of this inner square done, minus the beading, of course. But I did that last night. So this is my little square for Blackberry Jam. It's just not a lot of stitching actually. It's just some cross stitch and fractional stitches for the leaves, and then this kind of wine colored border is cross stitch. Everything else is back stitch, and these are Scotch stitches in cream on cream. Great choice, McKenzie. I could hardly see those to save my life. I needed like the biggest light the most powerful light in the world. But yeah, there is my tiny start on Blackberry Jam. I am loving this fabric. It originally, when I put the leaves in, it bothered me because it seemed like I tried to choose, I tried to kind of center it on the gingham so that it would look like this. See how it's just like beautifully centered and like everything's on a square? I didn't quite get that, and it bothered me when I was doing the green to the part where I felt like I wanted to start over, but I didn't. And now that there's more stitching on, I think it's fine. I think it's fine. So that is Blackberry Jam, one of my Stitch Mania starts, and I totally cheated. I'm totally breaking all the rules. I started both of them yesterday. I didn't do like one a day or whatever. So the other one is now under a mountain of stuff that I need to, oh, that's where my pin went. There's a pin hanging out of this. That's dangerous. Let's get that out of there. I was looking for that last night because I usually use a pin to mark the center of my fabric when I'm starting something new, and it's usually on my needle minder, and it wasn't, and I was like, well, can't wait to find that somewhere, you know, in the midst of all this stuff. But there it is. Oh God, now it's on the floor. Okay, so the next project I started, you guys, I am so in love with this one immediately. Oh, there's the pattern. I'm so in love with this one and obsessed immediately. This is Black Lace Sampler by Rosewood Manor in Comic Sans. Hilarious font choice. So it's very simple. The entire border is just a little bit of cross stitch, and then it's mostly just black work, like one stranded back stitch. I'm going to put all the black in before I touch the center part, which is hilarious because I didn't even really need to make my trip to Michael's. I did get some flosses that I need for the middle, but I'm not going to be stitching this middle for a long time. Anyways, but that's me, you know what I mean? You guys, some of you can probably relate if you have the same personality. It's like I can't just start something without all the supplies, because then I'd have to get the supplies later, and somehow that would take more mental energy. I don't know. You guys understand. So this takes, it says 4 skeins of DMC, but this is my first project that I'm using Anchor Black on. I think I said a little while ago, maybe a long while ago, that I had kind of phased out all of the 310 out of my collection. I think August Peridot Fairy was the last project that had 310. And now everything that I'm stitching, I don't think actually has black. Lily of the Woods doesn't have any black in it. My Mirabilia. Angel of Love doesn't have any black in it, I don't think. I think the darkest color is that really dark navy blue. Yeah, so I can totally start fresh with Anchor. So this is my first project using Anchor Black, and it's great so far. I mean, it's just great. So let me show you. I worked on this last night, and I actually just worked on it while I was doing my laundry, just the wash cycle for like half an hour. So it's still got, oh God, McKenzie, still got a huge needle in it with like a whole bunch of thread. That's the other thing. I love cutting really long lengths, and this is just black. If I could just cut the longest lengths and just black. So this is what I got done. It is the inner kind of frame, and I just started on the stars that are going to go all the way around. This frame really freaked me out because I wanted to make sure it was counted correctly, and the stitching on the inside, the colored stitching, that has to be centered within the square inside there. And so I was like, oh my God, don't mess this up, McKenzie, because then that thing's going to be off center and you're not going to realize until you have stitched all of the black. So I counted it like 700 times, and in the back of my head I know it's right, but still anxiety. And then of course, like, even if the box is big enough, you have to make sure it's like centered in the fabric, right? So that took some mental energy. But other than that, this has been a total dream to stitch. It's the perfect stitching for like in front of the TV. It's just black. You don't have to change the color. You can stitch forever with the one skein. Like, I already know it's using 4 skeins, so if I carry a little bit across the back, I don't care. I'm stitching this on 28 count antique white Monaco. You guys know I love Monaco, and you know I have a huge stash of Monaco in my closet, so it is always my like backup fabric. If I want to start something right now and I don't have fabric, it's going on antique white Monaco or it's going on tea-dyed Monaco. 28 count, that's what I got in there. Everything else is assigned to like a project, and I really only do that with like mirabilias. So any mirabilias I kit up have fabric in there, so they are actually ready to go. Nothing else has fabric. I just have some scraps and a little bit of Ada still, which I don't use much anymore, and then that Monaco. So everything's on Monaco. So I picked antique white because I thought it would look nice instead of the tea-dyed. This is on white, probably pure white. And black work, it just looks nice. Although the Save the Stitches looked really nice on that oatmeal Ada. That's not white, so don't feel like you have to put yourself into that box. But I chose antique white. And you'll see I stitched a little arrow inside to remember which way is up, because this is entirely symmetrical, and I just thought this is probably best if you put an arrow on there. So this is my black lace sampler. I'm gonna work on this like a fiend, I can already tell. And then after that, I will probably do Lily of the Woods. And then, what else is there? Angel of Love. I'm probably not going back to that this month. I've had enough Angel of Love for right now. I guess then it's either 1/1 or it's Shadowling time. I don't like either of those options very much right now, but that's okay. So yeah, that is my WIP update. I think I've talked about everything. I have not really acquired any stash, although I did get a wonderful, wonderful present that was very kind and made me very emotional. It was a mirabilia. That's all I'm going to say about it. That person knows how grateful I am about that. So I think that's it. I think that's it. I am going to try and film that finished video this week on Quaker Game Board, and then that will be out for giveaway. Hashtag pass the stash, question mark, I don't know. And yeah, other than that, I am looking forward to getting back into the swing of things. The lighting in here is not as bad as I thought. I don't have an overhead light in my bedroom, and in my parents' house I used to film with a lamp with a daylight bulb, and I would put it so that it was up against the wall so that it backlit onto my face. I haven't done that, and I think it's okay. So let me know your thoughts. I am happy to hear from all of you again, and it meant so much to me when I was so kind of nervy about posting my vlog after I hadn't filmed the entire month, and so many people were so sweet and just immediately said how much they missed my videos, and I so appreciate that, and it really is giving me a good push to like get back for real. So I appreciate you and your comments, and I appreciate you watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.